So Laura is starting right now. She's gonna introduce herself. She can do it so much better. So Laura, if you wanna turn on your camera right now, you're welcome.
Oi, I'm turning on my camera.
Yay! Laura's there. Hi.
Hey everyone. I see that Amar is also here, I think, and ready to start. But I just wanted to, first of all, briefly introduce myself as, well, part of the most veteran facilitators. I've been on this team now for 11 years. I'm also the president of the new association that we are just now conforming. So I wanted to simply say hello to everybody. Thank you so much for coming to this first international masterclass that we are inaugurating today. It's a series of masterclasses that we're going to continue doing every 2 weeks. Really hoping that we can share ourselves, share the work that we have done, share also a lot of the experience, the insights that we have gained over all these years of working. We like to say, and we have always said, and I'm going to say it now, and feel how it somehow resonates or not inside of you, that we do not work with ayahuasca, we do not work with entheogens, we do not work with psychedelics. We work with consciousness. And this means that the point in everything we do is not really what is outside of you, even if what's outside of you is something as magnificent, powerful, and deep as a master plant as ayahuasca. What it means is that the real protagonist, the real center of this experience is you. It's not even the facilitating team. It's not the beautiful method that I could say we have created, but we have not created. It has been created by everybody, by you. Maybe you don't realize it, but you have also created this wonderful method that we're now going to start sharing. So pay attention if when Amar speaks or in the future when I speak, because I will also be giving some of these master classes, and other people from our team who are also here, like Michela, Farah, Anthony, Zarik, many others are going to be sharing. Pay attention if when we speak, everything we say is something that in some place of you resonates so much that you say, but I already knew this. So much of, I mean, we call it a master class, but it's pretty much a play on words, because in reality, it's not a master class where we're going to teach anything. But hopefully amongst all of us, there will be such a field created that we will all learn things that cannot be taught, and remember things that the soul already knows. And with this, I think, I don't know if Amar is ready to start, so I'm going to leave the place to him. Or perhaps if somebody else from the team, Amar, yes. So thank you, Amar, for sharing this place with me. And now I will leave you with Amar, who is in charge of tonight's first international online masterclass. Do not try to fix anyone's life. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here tonight with us. It's a very, very important moment.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, everybody, for being here. As you may have understood already, my name is Amar, and tonight I will moderate this space. Actually, I already see I'm not the moderator. There is a moderator. I'm just going to lead the topics tonight. And before starting to talk about the topic, there are certain things that I would like to talk about, because in general, the topic would mean that we already go very deep into something that can bring us anywhere. First of all, I would like to give an introduction of who I am, who we are, and what is it that we are doing also. So something about us. Because we are a community, we are an association, we are a group of people that we have been changing all of these years. Yes. We have been always organizing retreats, but every second life is not the same. And so even for the people that know us for a longer time, there is always something new about something that it is flexible, that it is changing with time, like in nature. When I see the fire behind me, I connect with this material, something that is in constant motion. And so I can say something about myself, and I can see that my life has been in constant motion, especially because since my childhood, I would never have imagined to be doing this work in my life. I had no idea that this work existed. And mainly in my life, I've been playing piano. I played concerts. I still play concerts. But at some point, I felt inside myself that there was something that was missing, something that I didn't know what it was. And all of a sudden, after studying in a country that has been very complicated for me in the beginning, because I was born in Italy, yes, and I was very naive. I've been traveling a lot and for a long time, not really knowing what it meant for a person born in Italy to travel so far and to stay in places with very different culture for so long time. So driven by the passion for music, then I moved to a place which is Russia, where in a few years I completely lost myself. I could not play anymore. It was really confronting for a person that was supposedly born to play music. So I found a situation in my life that was really confronting. And all of a sudden, then I moved to Germany, which is where we are now. We're in our beautiful house in Hamburg. And there was a search inside me. There was a nervousness inside me. I knew that sometimes I felt lost. Sometimes I thought that it had to do with me, with something that I was not doing. But in my heart, I felt that in my life, something was gonna arrive, and I didn't know what it was. And so I was looking really for a solution to fix myself. I was very nervous because I can remember a big heart pain constantly. Some feeling of indignity was dooming me. That used to make me very shy with people, used to make me very defensive, very easy to hurt, like almost wounded. Like one of these dogs that is a bit hurt and is very easy to get nervous, very easy to feel attacked. And I was very clear that it was fantastic that I was far from my family, in Italy, even though I have a fantastic relation with my parents, that place did not represent what I wanted in this moment. And so I was in a war. I was in a war of a human being finding himself alone with his self-demand to try to achieve something that the more I tried, the more I failed. And at certain point, I opened my eyes, I look at the situation, and I was reflecting on the fact that it was not possible that I was looking for everything what I needed. I needed a condition in my life where I would receive, because otherwise I had no energy to concentrate myself really on creativity from a space of love, from a space of sharing, but for a space of need. And so I just came to one of our retreats. And when I attended the retreat and I saw the team, I can remember there were two figures in the team that they were a bit surprising me. I had the feeling that these people were very chill, you know. I really felt in a wonderful comfort around them. I really felt not judged. I felt something was lighter. And so I really felt from the first time that I belonged. And it was not about belonging to a group of musicians. I would have felt that I was belonging even if we were, in sushi place where people prepare fish. It was not important. There was something deeper. And so one of them looked at me and say, you may be working with us. And then I look at them and I was telling, sure, thank you. And I was thinking, now a classical pianist who plays in big theaters, let me just put my Armani suit over there and I come with you hippie giving some narcotics to people, no? This is obvious, sure. But then when I was driving home, something was talking to me. And I realized that it was exactly what I was going to do. It was exactly that space for myself, this spiritual space for myself that I really needed to receive in my life. And so I came in contact with this wonderful group of people. I met one after the other. I was following schools around Europe. Then I went to Spain. I met the founder. And what I was surprised of is that everything was easy. Everything was clear. There was a kind of feeling of justice, but something beyond justice, because justice can feel also a bit like, justice. No, it was just a profound easiness. And when I met the founder, I'm very thankful to my intelligence, because he was completely different from the way that people spoke to me about him. He's now he is not anymore with us. He died 2 years ago, and he's really a person that has shared an immense amount of love in many different ways. And very quickly he found a place inside my heart. And I was missing a figure in my life, somebody that I can trust, somebody that I feel respects me deeply, a person that can speak to me that directly, telling me anything, and I would not have any need of saying anything to it. A person that I can receive a confrontation from, and I would just listen. I would just let it in and receive it like love. Somebody that would trust me unconditionally, would support unconditionally what I was feeling, what I was wanting, what I was desiring. Profoundly needed to heal the inner family that was inside me. And I repeat, not because I'm particularly upset about my family, but in some moments I did surely feel that I was not completely understood. And so I opened myself to this experience to make friends with a group of humans that is absolutely marvelous. And for me, and this is very personal, what is the group about? It's very simple. We do not like to call ourselves facilitators, shamans, therapists, because we see that the way we call ourselves is not really saying what is
Hello.
important. And so the way I see us is a group of people who decided what the priority is, who decided together that somehow we need to get until the end of it. What is friendship? What is a relation? What happened between humans? Why is so difficult sometimes? What is it that creates a resistance for the miracle to happen between two humans? And so, of course, taking advantage of the wonderful experience that we have with entheogenic medicines, therapies, and many other things, we were just together to experience ourselves through these processes. I just felt in a certain point, if I don't fix this thing of the human connection, if I don't really go deep in a comprehension for myself about what is important for me and what happens among people, like, I cannot really go on in this life. And so, for this reason that once I started getting acquaintance to photography, and I met a photographer, and this person did not desire at all to speak about photography. I was asking about the camera, how wonderful it is, the opening, the diaphragm, and this person found it absolutely boring to speak about the camera. Yes, he could come to walk in nature with me. We could go, we could watch wonderful landscapes. But he was absolutely not interested to talk to me about the tool. And so in the same way, for us, the tools, I don't really think that it is what wakes up in the morning. You know, it is something that we are comfortable with, something that we love, something that we like, something that we value. but it is not really what keeps us nights up chatting about. Mainly because we have it quite clear that it is not about the tool. Mm. It is more about you. It is more about what you do with it. Like a bit like life. Is it about life, or it is about what you do with it? Is it about a situation, or is it about the way you react to it? Because if we spoke about tools, about medicine, and this is something that Laura briefly spoke about, we would a bit like hiding to you where the treasure is. Imagine there is a fantastic table, a chef prepared a wonderful meal. On top of the table, you have the most gorgeous, amazing food you have ever seen in your life. And we sit down and we will talk about the plates or the chairs. You know, at certain point, if this happened and I spoke about the chairs, I would really feel that I'm betraying you, because there is nothing to say about the chairs. And it is not about the chairs. It is about something that is expressing love, beauty, shine, dedication. So as an organization, we have a lot of experience with entheogenic medicines, but that's not what it is about. Mainly what I would say we are in love is with everything else than this. Because in the moment when we would put the medicine in the center, we would be putting out the focus on the only thing that is important, which is you. Because the medicine cannot fix things for you. The medicine can show you, you can see, yes, but who is doing really the job is you. You are this marvelous universe in which the decision happens. And sometimes it is not about the informations. Because when you have the information, it just takes a decision. In the same way, a lot of people heard about our retreat. They have the informations, but the only thing that is missing sometimes is the decision. Maybe with the heart we are connected, but the mind always is telling something. The mind has the best excuses to keep very important things from happening. And in this moment, our company, Inner Mastery, changed. Something happened. And Inner Mastery, we are very specific with the name, with the use of name. Not because the name is the most important thing, but it is very important. Because when we talk about Inner Mastery, we are concentrating about the mastery, which is wonderful. go into a retreat in order to feel yourself, to know yourself, so that you can open yourself to see how you function, and to see the moment where you don't function, to a point where in life you can have different behaviors. Okay, so inner mastery. How can I master the feeling of guilt? How can I master the feeling of shame? Because it can happen. Guilt, shame. What do I do in this moment? So after being with inner mastery, then we realize that there was something beyond, because this doesn't have to do with my inside only, because my inside is also creating unconsciously an outside. The idea that I have of myself, because maybe I was born, maybe I think something about myself. And so unconsciously, humans always try to sell this idea, whether it's a good idea, whether it's a bad idea. There is an inner movement of the mind, always concentrated to be received in a certain way. And so beyond inner has become the name that we had after inner mastery, because sure, inner, yes, but when you go inner, then you open your eyes and you just realize that there is a beyond. But sure, you go in, yes, and then you need to look out. And so at certain point, the last transformation happened with a long process, since we have lost our founder, and we were living an experience also, very particular, because he was the boss. He was the boss. And so one person has always the last word about everything, even from love, because then I mean, this person was absolutely extraordinary. But still, a lot of mechanisms, they were activated. And so during this time, after when this person left us, it was a very complicated situation, because all of the sudden was missing the person that was absolutely present in everything. And so all of the sudden, we looked to each other in the eyes. Some people did not feel that we could continue, but some of us had it really clear from the first moment. And so we just open up to go on. And then little did we know that a huge transformation, a huge process would happen, where life would bring us spontaneously, without us even realizing in the beginning, to do things that we didn't know how to do. It was a bit like imagine there is a pizza family. The father has a pizza restaurant. The father dies, and next day the children, they stand up, they go to the pizza place, and they prepare a pizza. They never did it before, but somehow they have seen it, and much more, they have absorbed it. And so now we find each other's without leader, which can sound in many different ways, but slowly something inside opened. And so we are in the process of discovering our own leader inside, so that we can now move the energy of the association, not anymore with one person taking decision, but with more than one. And so this energy is contagious, is very powerful. There is a huge opening in relation, in sharing. There is an opening in horizontality, because when there is a leader, consciously or unconsciously, there is a leader. But now we are processing this melting. This melting, there is a huge melting going on. And for a long time, like, what is horizontality? Of course, life is horizontal. We are all humans. But maybe I go to a karate place and there are people doing it for 10 years that make super moves when I'm doing things that are shameful. And so, sure, we are horizontal, but there is a certain respect there. Look what this person is doing, no? And so it has always been like this. Like, the mind loves to do with these things what it wants. So, sure, there was always horizontality, but not in the mind. So beyond the fact that the horizontality was always available for a pure heart, the mind was busy to sabotage it. And so in this moment, there are some resistances in the field that are allowing something completely different. And so that symbolized a particular moment. So we had to change our name one more time, and we changed it to inner discovery. The inner discovery of our own divinity, of our own human nature, inner discovery of the perfection of it all, an inner discovery of the perfection of duality, of the perfection of the fights, of the perfection of the processes, of the doubts. And so at the moment, we are transiting to inner discovery association, because we have it very clear that the only thing that you can discover beyond everything what you can discover, it is your essence. It is that part that is inside you, shining like a treasure behind all of this movement from a mind that cannot see it. The being, this thing that is being possible to be felt without you doing nothing. That part inside you that is completely abundant by nature, worth, valuable, pure, innocent, powerful, eternal. Important. And so we are opening ourselves to this experience. from a different point. There was a very interesting anecdote about our logo, and we were choosing it. And so we had doubts because there were some figures that we liked, but in the end, won the butterfly. And when you think about, when you feel the butterfly, what is it that you feel? Just take a deep breath. And just pretend to be a butterfly. Just went through a huge metamorphosis from a chrysalis. And now open the eyes, open the wings, and look around in this marvelous garden of life, of humanity, of love, of abundance. And just this butterfly starts moving the wings, and all of a sudden, she had no idea that she was flying. She just realized she was flying. That's what she always desired in her heart. It was never possible, but all of a sudden, from a chrysalis, she was always thinking, what is the potential? What is my destiny? Many people speak about it, but this chrysalis, is it all what there is? Is it all what there is? And all of a sudden, something happened. And this butterfly loses this heaviness, this patience of the chrysalis, and starts flying free, curious, spontaneous, hungry to feel that feeling of divine beauty and freedom and abundance that is hers from birthright. Just she never knew about it. And so with every hit of the wings of the butterfly that is in us, we like to shake off many things. All the dust that stays on these books, all of this intelligence, all of this wisdom, all of this knowing something because one is in the spiritual. I already deal with the problem of my mother. Oh, yes, of course you did. Who cares? Look at you. I had a lot of therapy. I drink ayahuasca 100 times. That's marvelous. But look at you. Look at me. Otherwise, we will always be talking about this. And don't take us wrong, because then in the retreat, there may be a lot of shadow work. There may be a lot of things where we talk about this. Absolutely. It is absolutely necessary at certain point to come in touch with the wound. And if you do that, it is wonderful to come in touch in a delicate way, but also with a certain experience, without fear, but with the due delicacy. So this is something that we do, because the butterfly is not flying happy because she pretends that the past never happened. The butterfly, it is about recovering the pureness. Why duality is perfect? Because imagine that you are born always connected. Imagining that the birth is no complicated experience, that there is no trauma with the parents. Imagine this, you are connected all life. You wouldn't have the free choice. You would not have the liber arbitrium. But you have the choice. You are given the choice. You are given the possibility to choose. It can happen only inside you. I was just seeing the movie I was watching now. Here in my home, we have a beautiful situation. My colleague know, many friends know, I'm gonna be waiting for a daughter in the next few days, probably, because we are already far with the pregnancy. And so in the night we have watched a couple of Harry Potter. Okay? And an example of libero arbitrium. Thank you for the beautiful hearts. And when we speak about liber arbitrium, Harry Potter decided to be in Gryffindor. The head told him, "It's like, are you sure? It's like you could be great in Slytherin. Are you sure?" And then he said, "No, please, not Slytherin. I want to be a Gryffindor." And then in the second Harry Potter, when he meets Dumbledore, Dumbledore tells him, because Harry sees that he speaks the language of snakes. And so he has doubt, maybe I am a Slytherin. And then goes to Dumbledore and tells him, "You are not what you have inside. You are what you decide to be." And then in this moment gave him the sword of Godric Gryffindor and said, only the people of Gryffindor can take out the sword from the head. Let's talk a bit about the topic tonight. So some of us heard about a method. Yes. A method substantially is a way. Yes. So something happens in my life, something really important happens in my life. I see the way that it happens and I give it to you with the idea that because it worked for me, it is going to work for you. And then what is happening? Most of the time, method don't work. A method, it is a way that is coming from outside you. At best, something can work, but not the method, because the only thing that works comes from inside you. Because there is no method that can support you to take decision towards love. There is no method that can do something that only your liber arbitrium can do. And so our founder had created this method, but he called it different. Because a method normally tells you what to do, information about how to do things. And there is a trap about telling how to do things. There are many traps. Because we have a mind. And our mind loves to take everything what it hears and to do something with it. Imagine if now I would say it's very important for the healing, yes, to meditate 1.5 hours per day, and it needs to be 1.5 hours. Imagine on how many people they would try it. 1.5 hours, 90 minutes. Imagine the self-demand that they would feel on the minute number 85. And daily, instead of moving like a butterfly, they would start moving like a stone. That there will be this huge self-demand, this huge self-punishment. And after 1 week, or maybe after the first day, or maybe after the first 45 minutes, you just decide, that is not for me. Sure, Buddha illuminated himself meditating under a tree. But do you really think that he was being in meditation because he had to? So we cannot create a method here because we do not want to support the misuse of this. And second of all, because we have no idea what can work for you. Because our processes are unique. Every human is like a universe, has a completely different story. And even stories that are similar, they are not the same. There is always something different. It's unique. Humans are unique and their story is also unique. So I am sorry to say, we are not going to help you like this. Because here nobody is interested to tell you what to do. Because only you can find out what to do. We're not going to try to brainwash you with an ideology, with the way. You know, what can I tell to a person that already know? What can I tell? What I don't know to a person that has his own center to come in contact with life? How what comes from my system can have more value than what comes from your system? It is an absurdity that we have been functioning, some of us, this way. And so we have a no method. A no method is very precise about telling you, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But what I'm going to tell you is to keep an eye in case you are doing something. To open to the possibility to stop. Not because it's right or wrong, but because if you do one of these things, if you catch yourself, then your inner evolution is blocked. Imagine there is a seed. It's in a garden. The seed cannot grow if it's on a table. Imagine the seed takes a book and can read, don't sit on stones. Because that could sabotage your evolution process. Imagine that we tell to the seed, if you want to flourish, you need to make sport 1 hour per day. And so you would see the seed doing sports and asking, did I flourish yet? Today, did I flourish? And so the premise number 1, and every premise, they have an energy inside that you can express through a word. The premise number 1, it is the method does not work because nothing coming from outside you can heal you. And nothing coming from outside you can move you towards the decision that you can take towards love. Tonight, paradoxically, we talk about the premise number 2. And the premise number 2, it's very beautiful and extremely powerful, is do not try to fix anything and do not try to help. Because by doing so, you would sabotage the possibility that the person can do it on their own. A method itself, the fact that we would propagate a method, it would be completely against the premise number 2. Because if I give you a method, I am already telling you, do it like this. In a method, there is a lot of superiority because I already am in a certain point. I already solve it. And because you are stupid and cannot do it on your own, let me tell you how to do it. We could not create a method. We could not create a method. The only thing that what we can create is a no method. Because a no method, it brings you to certain points. You know, people come to the retreat and they are thinking, where am I? I did so many therapies and I still get activated. I did so many sessions and I activated. What is happening? I am not in the place where I should be. Because the mind is constantly looking. Where am I in this moment? And our process, it's like there is one point where we are now and one point where we think that we should be. So one point is this ideal divinity and one point is the reality, what is happening. And in the middle, there is a certain process. That's the process. And so we do not take it with rush. Because when the mind thinks about where it should be, starts feeling something is wrong. Why this is still happening in my life? Because I am a failure. Because there is something wrong. Because I should already be in a different place. There is a lot of self-demand in the mind. And so we don't want to go to touch these things. The process needs its time. It needs time. The process is punctual. If you are in that point, it is because for now you need to be in that point. And all the people come to our life punctual. Every meeting that we have in our life is perfect. Tonight you are here because you took responsibility to come to a meeting where you had, and I took responsibility to be here to speak about a topic that I had to speak about. Because there is nothing better for a young future father to remember that you don't fix anybody. And so there is a lot of war, of inner war, when we look at ourselves where we are. And can you imagine if on top of this, somebody from the outside, coming from superiority, tells you what you should do because the place where you are in this moment is not the place where you should be. Imagine the abuse, the violence of a person that has nothing to do with you, that is not you, that has no idea on what you are feeling in this moment, somebody that comes to you and tell you what to do. And violence, abuse comes from ignorance. You need to be ignorant to mistreat another human. You have no idea what is happening inside that human. And this ignorance can be experienced in many different ways. Anger, guilt, indignity, shame, comparison, superiority, jealousy. This is ignorance. It's an ignorance that the mind experienced and is still experiencing sometimes. And it's absolutely perfect that it happens like this. Because the mind, in essence, is ignorant. But we are not saying that you are ignorant, because now some of you maybe think, thank you, Amar. Now I go home, on top of it, I think that I'm ignorant. Let's not identify ourselves, please, what the mind does. You know, some shamans friends from Amazon say, mind, blind lovely sister. Without war, you know, it's like you have a blind brother. He hits the wall sometimes, but that's not who he is, you know. The mind, in essence, is ignorance. Because it's much more busy to do its own job than to connect with the territory of a person that in this moment can experience a moment of vulnerability. in front of you. And so this abuse, for some people, happen towards outside, and for some other happen towards the inside. Some people prefer to abuse the inside. Some people prefer outside. And so one abuse the other, and the other use the first one to abuse itself. This is what can happen when I had the arrogance to tell you what to do. And so the people that are at the other side don't want to listen. It doesn't come in. They close sometimes they don't want to listen. Sometimes they listen everything. They tell you, yes, of course, they tell you yes, and then they do the opposite. They tell you yes because they learn that when they say yes, you let them off the hook. But then what they do, then they do the same. And they do with pleasure. So on top of it, they even do it so they can show you that they still do it. I can remember a few weeks ago, a dear friend of mine told me about a story. In her life, she has her mother very sick. And she told me, it is fantastic how this woman listens to everybody outside, even to strangers, except me. I've been searching really intensively for therapies, for something that really can heal that situation, but it's impossible even to name it, because as soon as I start, there is already anger. I remember myself in the moment that I wanted to go to my family and have my family try ayahuasca. I say, Mom, Dad, come to the ayahuasca. It was impossible. So one point, then I came in touch with this second premise, and it just came to me. It's like, I cannot say anything to this person. So one day I was in Italy and I said, look, just don't look at me, because I have no intention whatsoever to talk to you about this. And when they felt that it was the truth, then they asked myself. They wanted to take part to a retreat. The word relative to the premise number 2 is the word trust. Because the word trust is completely connected with the possibility that that person next to you is in the place where it needs to be. And that there is only one thing that is possible to do in this case. And it's love. And love has to do with intelligence. Not intellectualism, with intelligence. Love has to do with the delicacy of compassion, of pureness, of receiving what happened next to me with absolute pureness. Because there is nothing to say when something around you happens in a way that is not the way that you wanted. And the person is in a process. The person cannot do it for you, even if they want to do it for you. There is something moving in them. Existence is already doing it. Nobody can do it for you. Because liberation and love are something that you can only do it for yourself. Only for yourself. And the time when this is going to happen, as everything else what happened in life, is perfect. Is punctual.
Thank you so much for that wonderful talk. Um, I would like to open a space for questions. So if you want to write your questions in the chat, it would be awesome. And I want to ask Amar already one beautiful question that we just got from Marco, and he asked it, why perfection of duality? Or was it meant to be perfection of non-duality? Duality might strive for perfection within its system, but the system will do incompleteness ever have its roots in non-duality. You want to share something about that?
Thank you, Malcolm. Yes?
Ne, Marco.
Marco.
Mhm.
The only thing that likes to judge something as unperfect is the mind. In the moment when I reject duality, I'm rejecting a part of reality. And if I reject a part of reality, then it can become complicated. Because this means that in this moment, I don't accept my life the way I experience it. And I'm trying to live in a different space. And if this happens, forget about the butterfly flying free and happy. It's going to be a butterfly looking in the sky. How can I go out of this duality where I live? It's going to be a butterfly with the gun in her hand, trying to kill duality. And if the point where we are is of the rejection of duality, it's perfect. The rejection of duality, disliking duality, is perfect. We can say the non-duality created the duality. We have the freedom to choose and to go back to it.
Another question, just talking about that is awesome, just came. What if I feel that this duality just makes me impulsive decisions that I'm unsure about? This complicates my life. Mm-hmm.
Let's let the duality in peace. The decisions are ours. The decision with which we can complicate our lives, they're just ours. But sometimes we don't complicate it. Sometimes complications are necessary to create the possibility for us to go back to simplicity.
you. Someone just say thank you. Thank you so much, Amari. So pure and precious where you explain. So peaceful and filled with so much feelings. Thank you. I don't know, someone else wants to ask Amar something right now. As you already saw, he has a really deep understanding in this topic. So it's really awesome if you have this opportunity to ask him anything you want.
But also, if somebody is in a step where they are a bit like blocked, maybe some of you want to participate, but or some of you has some process, but some of you maybe has some doubt, something haunting you when you sleep. You want to take a step, but you can't, and maybe there are some questions that you don't like to express. Yes, so if you have a question of this type, also to support you eventually to take a step that for your soul can make a difference.
I'm a lucky girl. Just ask it. What if I ask for a translator on a retreat? If I can speak louder or give talk to another person, and he let me suffer all retreat and didn't want to step back, it triggered me. But I don't know. It was for some reason. I see duality there for sure.
Wonderful. This is a fantastic question. I mean, apparently, the process of communicating needs is very present lately. Yes, so sometimes it's really about you. It's really about you being heard. Mm? I mean, here in the community, we have some funny situations sometimes. And I speak Italian, or I speak Russian too, so sometimes we speak different language, and some of the community, some guys cannot understand those language. So sometimes I find myself speaking Russian or with one person next who cannot understand. And then there is a part of me that would like to say to the guys, let's switch to German, please. But maybe I don't feel like in this moment. So I'm wondering if the person understanding only German wants to hear it and he doesn't have courage to speak his need, or maybe he just likes to hear a different language and to sink in this wonderful sound. So from my purity, I don't know what he wants, but I'm very happy then when the person asks, excuse me, can we speak English, all of us? And I look and say, oh, I thought you never asked. Let's speak English. So sometimes life gives you the possibility to step in for yourself. A person can sit in a very uncomfortable place for one lecture, in a place that is destroying their back, and maybe they suffer for 1 hour, and what just they could have done is ask to the person, do you please have 10 centimeter more? The person say, oh, sure, here are 20. And all of a sudden, so what is the best medicine? Discomfort? It's the best medicine, so that at one point you decide to talk. It can be very confronting, it can be very confronting sometimes, knowing that it has always been in your hands, but that the mind, for some reason, for one inner dialogue, kept me in this position. In many places it's very popular, polygamy, And some people do it apparently successfully and good for them. But I also know some people that that try and they have forced themselves to see in very painful situations for years, and all of a sudden, you know, it's like, if you are comfortable, stay. If you're not comfortable, you will see yourself. Some yogi, they meditate 10 hours and their back is going through big pain, and then they liberate themselves from the pain. Sure. Do you want to transcend? You will try as long enough. At certain point, you will already see. But if you decided to transcend, if you decided to transcend, then you are going to through what you need to go through. But sometimes, a limit be accepted. Not all limits are being created for us to cross them. Transcending a limit, you can transcend by going beyond it, or you can transcend by accepting it. That's a limit. It's up to you with the translator. It's up to you. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a question from Raymond. Can you talk a little bit more about the trust in the premise number 2? The only right thing to do is love and compassion. I would like to hear more about that, please. And I would like do it with another question that I find really interesting. That is, from Marta. So I feel afraid to show my love to strangers because I have experienced how they take it for granted. Therefore, my fear of duality. So I think they're like kind of together. If you want to answer both of them.
Raymond, we are not saying what is the best thing to do, because love is not something that we do. The mind can take these words and now, oh, I have to love. Oh, it can be very complicated to have to love. We are talking about air here. We are not talking about nothing. But the mind tries to make something out of this, because this word can touch, if we let them enter, they can eventually touch some places and impulse a process of transformation. They can impulse a movement from the inside, but that movement cannot be from the mind, because the mind can use it to create a new method. And so the right thing is love, the right thing is trust. Right or wrong, it is very dangerous when we are talking about these things, saying right or wrong, because it is perfectly right not to love and right to distrust. And it is wrong in the same time. There is no right or wrong. The place where you are is the place where you need to be. I cannot self-demand myself to love. Forgiving, it is not automatic. 1, 2, 3, forgive. No. Accepting, neither. The leaves fall from the tree, not because they are planning it. The leaf is looking down and say, okay, guys, I'm gonna count. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, no. No. It can happen. This leaf can wait many years, many months, many hours. We are just talking about things that don't exist. Mm. All what we have said is very dangerous if the mind now tries to do something, because it will not bring anything, but a deeper comprehension that can create the condition for something new to be born. And when we talk about trust, I mean, these topics, they are very wide. I mean, in the next master classes, we are going to hear many different people that are going to talk about different things in their own different way. For me, the question of the number 2 has to do with trust, because if I trust my process, I cannot interfere in somebody else's process. There are some things that don't need to be touched. If I want a tree to grow better, that better is in my eyes. The tree grows perfectly. Imagine I want the tree to grow different. Then I go, I make a hole in the tree, I open the chlorophyll, I try to intervene. So on top of it, this tree that felt already that he's having a complicated situation, now on top of it has somebody else confirming the wrong and the stupid that this tree is. And that makes it much more complicated. It interferes. In our retreat, when people come to the retreat, the first thing that they feel is the field. Imagine a person homeless, like really without good clothes, like really smelly, really dirty. That energy is causing outside a certain attitude of rejection. It's unconscious. So this person is used to it. Imagine what happens if a person that is living in a point where all the energy that he feels is this. What happens when he comes to a place where people don't feel this towards him? He's going to be shocked. So, what? So, you do not reject me? How is possible? Do I smell bad enough? Let me check. Yes, I do. And you do not reject me? What happened? In the retreat, in the experience of the community, we speak a lot about fields. Imagine we give you ayahuasca, but you come and you meet facilitator who judge you. This is not gonna support anybody. Because yes, we give powerful medicine, powerful integration, beautiful dynamic, but then we look bad to you. This is sabotaging the process. So if the person next to you is next to you and makes you upset, you will already see what to do. And there is a very famous phrase. It's in an Arab book that says, only speak when what you are going to say is more beautiful than the silence. What is it that you can say? Maybe the person in front of you is really having a hard time, and what is it that you can say? Before we have seen that love is one of the most sophisticated intelligence. There is one intelligence that can be maybe even a bit more sophisticated, and it's compassion.
Mm. Would it be okay for if I ask you another question? Maybe you have one more question.
I mean, my plan tonight is only to be here with you, so I mean, no problem at all. It's 1.5 hours. Maybe one more question is fine. Yes.
Yes. Like one that like a lot of people have asking me that this like in private. I think it's really interesting that it's coming up right now. Is like Amar, for someone who's struggling with depression and trying to affirm their part in life and society is perfect. They don't believe it. They don't feel like this. How can anyone gasp and follow the mystery of life in this chaos? Someone with depression, what? Like it's really interesting that it comes up a couple of times.
What is the name of this person?
Daniel.
Daniel. Daniel. Sometimes we are in situations that that go beyond what we expect. Sometimes we can find ourselves in situations that are very uncomfortable, and when it happens that there is this isolation, there is nothing to do because life is already trying to take you out. Now, life is surely trying to take you out, but then the mind can put itself in the middle to reject all these invitations of life, to go out of it. Because it's very typical when there is a state of depression and isolation, is like nothing can take me out of it. Which is correct because it can be you who is taking the step, but the ways they are being shown. There are a lot of possibility around because life is already trying to take you out of it. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes some situation they invite us to become masters of sadness so that we can sink in sadness and really discover all the mysteries of it. And sometimes life is already trying to take you out. The only thing that can block life from it is distrust. And sometimes when there is this situation, the mind is like keeping a castle, building a castle around the person to make sure that he's not going to take any invitation out of it. So if you are in a moment of depression, surely something is resting. It is just a station. It's just a moment. It's just a phase. These are very fascinating topics to to come to a retreat for it. For example, to really come to present oneself this gift.
Maybe this would be a good time for you to talk a little bit about our retreats. What do we have for all of them that are here?
I don't think there is much that I can say about our retreat, honestly. Like, what can I say about a retreat? More than we are here. I am here. We are here. We are here,
We are here, yes.
ready to receive you and to receive you and to be here. We are we are open. Is here, and we have been all participants before, and so if you are open to see what the mystery has for you, come and find out.
Mm-hmm.
Come and find out what is hiding behind this wall that the mind is creating. And I tell you here, nobody is going to do anything for you or anything for it. But there are a lot of people that are going to really enjoy next to you this process. And there are many people that are enjoying to be in their own process next to you. And it takes 1 second to die, to fall in love, to make a baby, to fuck it all up. Just 1 second. Imagine what can happen in 3 days that you come to a retreat. Somebody asked Buddha, Buddha is like, why do you still talk when you already saw that the mind of people are not gonna really listen? They are not gonna really let in. They are gonna just take it and interpret it. And Buddha said, I still talk because the miracle can happen.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. So, to all of you that have been here, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Amar, for your beautiful words. Thank you, Laura, for being here. So our time is now done. Like, if you want to leave any questions, maybe we can answer you with one of our teammates. Like, you already have our WhatsApp, our group, so you can leave any questions there. You can always write us, and we are here. Like Amar said, we are here. We are open. We receive you. And so thank you so much. And we have the next call is in 2 weeks with Michaela. She's wonderful that she would be the next talking here. Yes, I don't know. You want to say something else to close, Amar?
Yes, absolutely. I want to thank everyone for accompanying us in this beautiful adventure to create space to share together. And I'm very happy to have this this space tonight to be in contact with you and to share these moments together. And I'm very excited about our program. Every 2 weeks, I'm gonna be in the first row to hear every one of my colleagues finally in this moment of intimacy. Yes, so I'm gonna treasure each one of this evening, and I will be very happy to be listening to it next to you next after 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Yes, so please, if you have any question, you can reach your assessor, the person who invited you. We are very full of events. We are everywhere, and so you know, we are here. You can find out and just come. Yes,
Mhm.
and that's it. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so much.
for the space, and yeah, I wish you a wonderful evening.
Yes. So bye bye, everyone. So you can start leaving now. Bye. Have a good evening. Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you.